All right, so we got. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Andrew Keane, CEO and president, founder of AlphaShark.com.
And I'm Kevork Boyajian from Major League Crypto.
First question is, how do you spell that?
It'll be too long for this video, honestly.
So we were just talking about cryptos here, and I heard about Bitcoins, I would say, 5 years ago, because it was really funny. I was sitting around my office, because I used to have an office across from the Board of Trade, and my buddy's like, hey, have you heard about this Bitcoin thing? And I was like, yeah, here's my credit card, put $5,000 and send me some Bitcoins. He goes, no, it's not a coin. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have gold coins, I have silver coins, why can't I get Bitcoins?
Yeah.
Where do they come with the name Bitcoin? Do you know?
It's a bit, which represents like a unit of, for computers and stuff, and a coin. So it's like a money. So it's like money or currency. So that's where with Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he or she is.
Which I am the conspiracy theory that it's 4 companies combined.
Which ones?
They're all written down. It's Motorola, Toshiba.
Okay.
Yeah, haven't you seen the video, the picture, the image picture?
Which one? I've not seen that.
Then you go straight down. I'm bringing it up right now.
Bring it up.
But I think it's a conspiracy that it's actually 4 companies. 'Cause I don't think one guy is actually smart enough to actually create that all himself. And I think it was a team of programmers from different things.
I agree. It's a group of people. That's my suspicion.
Wait, I'll show you this. You've never seen this before?
No.
What about that guy in Australia? Did you guys hear about that? Did you guys ever read about
No.
that? The guy in Australia that claimed.
There's a lot of people that claim to come out with it, but like the biggest conspiracy I hear that who made Bitcoin was Alan Greenspan. That's like the
Really?
offshoot. They say because he has a background in
So read
programming
this.
stuff. Okay, Samsung,
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Hey, that's
Samsung,
actually
Toshiba. I don't know what this company does, but they're Asian, and the Motorola. Nakamichi.
no, Nakamichi.
So if you read it straight down, it says Satoshi Nakamoto in it, and 4 companies that are Asian-based companies. And then they actually dwell so much about who created it. Does it really matter?
It doesn't matter. Well, no, it might matter because there's that certain amount pre-mined for Satoshi Nakamoto, right? So when Bitcoin came out, there was a certain percentage or blocks
And then how much out of
dedicated.
so the 16.5 million coins in usage right now or been mined so far? What does he own of it?
I believe it's around 5%.
5% of the total of
Yeah.
21 million.
Well, no, from the initial. So it was a certain amount of blocks that he or she owns, and that's his or hers, or the group of people. So there's a certain amount of blocks when Bitcoin was created that Satoshi Nakamoto owns, and from that the blockchain grew from there.
So this is the 2 questions that I always ask my business partner that maybe you can help clarify, which are the easiest ones, is government regulation, and why can't, if someone looked at it and be like, oh, Bitcoin's worth $45 billion, why couldn't they just come up with a new one? And also the fact that it keeps splitting Bitcoin Cash and then
Yes.
Bitcoin 3 is going to come out. So the first question is, why can the government not just say, like they did, like Roosevelt did in 1933, where he told all the U.S. people that they couldn't have gold and they had to sell the gold to the government, and gold was actually outlawed for 4 decades, and then what happened was it was outlawed, and then they put it on the gold standard, and they eventually got off the gold standard. So why couldn't the U.S. government, in theory, just say, and I know the easy answer is going to be peer-to-peer system and deregulation, say,
Sure.
hey, if you have money, as a U.S. citizen, if you have money in an exchange, that is illegal.
Oh, they could definitely do that. They
Wouldn't
could.
that be the fault
That was
of
my
all
biggest.
cryptocurrency?
Like I've known about cryptos for years, but I never really touched it until more recently. On my span of knowing the knowledge, right, is because I was scared of government intervention. That was my main fear. But
So that's the biggest fear.
yes, but I think we've gotten to the point where I'm comfortable in trading cryptocurrencies that even if the government tried to intervene at this point, too many people are involved with it, and it's so assimilated with the internet that the government has kind of lost overall control. For certain, they could shut it down. Don't get me wrong. They could.
I don't think they
the
could shut down
exchange market.
Bitcoin or Ethereum
The
or
exchange-
crypto.
the exchanges.
They should say, hey, if you're a
Yes.
U.S. citizen, you cannot trade.
Mhm.
And then the second question is obviously like, why can't always everything? There's always competition in the space, right? 500 new ICOs are coming out in the next couple months. Like, why invest? Let's say in Bitcoin runs the train. Why is Bitcoin going to be why can't there be competition that comes out? Like Microsoft saying that they're going to come out with blockchain, right?
Yes.
Why couldn't that blockchain replace and be better technology than Bitcoin?
Well, it depends what the intent of the blockchain is, right? Because every blockchain has a different goal depending on how the protocol's written. So if you're going to make a crypto, which this is how I classify it. A lot of people disagree with me, but I use crypto for the overall terms of all cryptocurrencies.
That's fine. I agree with you.
Cryptocurrencies, I only use the term actual cryptocurrencies if it's dealing with anything transaction currency based.
Like
Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. Well, I use cryptos for other blockchain based applications like Ethereum and other ones that are equivalent to it. So the thing with Bitcoin, it's I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
I think the big question is, everybody sees these. So Mark Cuban just came out with one.
Yes, it was a unicorn.
Yeah, unicorn.
Yeah.
And then Mayweather has one, and
Yes.
as people see other people making more money, so why? Oh, I was talking to Aussie Johnny downstairs. He has an ICO. I was like,
Everyone has an ICO now, and this is like the common question. It's still, you can still replicate the coin. So there's a lot of Bitcoin clones out there, but they don't have the same traction as Bitcoin. Well, there's a lot of things. The reason why Bitcoin has more credence and it's been around longer. So as the blockchain expands, it becomes more stronger. That's why the mining incentives are so good, because they want Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that individual was, or group of people, they wanted Bitcoin to expand as much as possible because it becomes more secure. Because the more blocks there are, the more blocks that would have to be owned for the reaching the over consensus amount to manipulate it. So Bitcoin's been around the longest out of all cryptos. So from that, it makes it the most difficult, which is like the Byzantine general fault, which is a concept with computer security. So the more blockchains the more blocks there are in the chain, the more difficult it is to manipulate. I think a lot of the price derives from that also.
I think, and actually one question I kind of thought about, which maybe you know the answer, probably don't, but so let's say Bitcoin's market cap is 45 billion. Okay, so that means somewhere in the world, one person or countries or governments own $45 billion worth of Bitcoin. Okay, what percentage of that is owned by individuals, banks, governments, hedge funds, and so on?
Well, we wouldn't know, just because from the fact that we don't have the knowledge of all the accounts connected. So if you go on the digital ledger and you see all the accounts owning or all transactions within the Bitcoin, even if we had all the access, we wouldn't know who owns what. And that's, a lot of people say that's the strength about Bitcoin, because you don't, unless you really follow the digital
What
ledger.
do you think? Don't you think
No,
government's probably on the most, right?
You know what?
The Chinese government and I would say Chinese.
Yes.
Actually, supposedly, the biggest holder of Bitcoin in the world is the FBI.
Oh,
When they
I
see Silk Road, when they see Silk Road's Bitcoins, the value of that, how many units they had, is like worth selling insane now.
Ross Ulbright.
Ross Ulbright, yeah.
That's the guy's name.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
FBI is one of the biggest holders of
I
Bitcoin.
completely agree with you. There's a lot of rumors that the FBI was using Monero, which is like the more secure blockchain that's private. They're saying
Hey,
that.
can I get one of those beers? Yeah, they left.
Yeah, that's the last one. You can have it.
Um,
Go. Stop for a beer.
Hawaiian beer.
I don't know where they were.
But go on.
Yeah, so I definitely think governments own a major share, and I think that's also another reason why, with the most recent event of China doing their ICO announcement about them banning ICOs and them trying to manipulate and
How long
shut
has it
down
been? How long has it been?
exchanges.
We are at 8 minutes and 41 seconds.
Okay. So basically, what I was trying to say is that the exchange, that them shutting down exchanges, and also right after that, Jamie Dimon coming out.
Fuck Jamie Dimon.
I swear, fuck Jamie Dimon.
He's only worth 1.1 billion. First of all,
And his people trade Bitcoin too.
second of all, Bitcoin competes against the banks. Of course, he has to call it a fraud.
Of course. But you know what? He made that one comment. It's bad because his daughter's trading it, and he thinks that she.
Well, he did say that anybody that trades Bitcoin at Chase is going to get fired immediately.
I mean, what has happened?
I
to
also
all
saw an
those traders trading
Instagram.
Bitcoin
I also
lately?
saw an Instagram picture where it said, "It's like Bitcoin's a fraud." He's like seeking alpha or whatever it was, and then in the next picture he's on his phone. He's like, "Okay, how much can you buy us?"
No, yeah, and I completely agree with that. I think also China's been trying to push down the price, and also J.P. Morgan and other entities because they want to buy more
Okay.
at a better
I
price.
think we got two more wrap questions.
Okay.
Because I have numbers in my head. the cryptocurrency market as a whole, 130 billion, we'll call it today, plus or minus,
Okay,
maybe
sure.
140. How high do you think it could go?
Trillions.
Multiple.
Multiple trillions. Because
And what is that based off of?
it's based off of several factors. I believe there's a big opportunity for industrialization of major parts of Asia and Africa that are coming up, especially Asia, because Asia is about to adopt tech, phones, laptops, just computing devices on a scale never before seen in history, because the population is so much higher and they've barely gotten any technology.
Their GDP and their growth rates are both down, though.
They're down, but overall, if you look at the trend, like as China's gonna have a lot of issues coming up regarding expansion and credit and everything. But after some events that happen in the world, political triggers, and China takes the helm of, I think it's gonna be more of a world power than it already is, especially with like the One Belt One Road initiative that they're doing with Russia. So
Well, Russia came out and said they want to come out with their own crypto.
yes,
too.
some of their high officials have said that. There's an airline right now in Russia that uses Ethereum blockchain to do
really?
payments, yes. And once the One Belt One Road initiative happens, or once it becomes more in its later
Have to hire this
stages,
guy.
once the One Belt One Road initiative happens, and you have all those nations in between Russia and China that have not been industrialized and they adopt it, those are literally a billion plus people that that are unbanked. First off, they're unbanked.
Yeah, there's 1.5 billion people in the world that
Exactly.
are unbanked.
Exactly,
Not a bank
and
account.
especially India, because India also what they did was they destroyed they took away a lot of the denomination of the bills, and there was a whole issue with Modi last year with that. So that's where blockchain comes in, because you don't need a bank for that. You are the bank, and that's the key thing. That's the reason why I think Jamie Dimon and others are attacking it. Also, because they know they really can't do anything about it. Because if you truly want to shut down cryptocurrencies, if you truly want to shut it down, you have to shut down the internet. And there's too much.
I still
much.
think the government, U.S. government,
No.
regulation on U.S. citizens in exchanges.
Yes, but I
That
think
would be. You wouldn't have to shut down the internet in theory. You could ban U.S. citizens from it. You can't ban the world from it.
yeah, you can't ban the world from it. But I still think that the global power of blockchain will be around, and I think people are involved in Bitcoin so much because there's not that many. There's several million. I don't know how much exactly in that million range. Definitely not a billion.
Or what?
That own any type of crypto, any crypto.
I think
crypto.
they said it on CNBC when John McAfee was running away from Brazilian cops, of how many different wallets there are, and it wasn't that many. It's like 30. There's like 30,000 wallets that have over $3,000. Something really small.
Yes, because the other 50% own basically nothing.
Yeah.
So those could be people that are scared, that move their. Because think about this, I could generate a ton of wallets. I could generate 1,000 wallets if I really want to, of anything. Doesn't mean they're all gonna have something in it, but I could generate that. But maybe people just transfer their funds into one wallet, or multiple.
Do you think there's I think we talked about this earlier. So, one of my friends who does AI technology and robotics claims that we can make money mining. Do you think it's possible to make money mining in the United
Yes,
States?
just not Bitcoin, for the most part, because Bitcoin is so far along that I believe they say the final Bitcoin, depending on how because how the protocol is set up, because there's this thing called so every time someone mines a coin, right, after a certain amount, it becomes more difficult to mine. So then,
Well, it goes down. The amount of coins released goes down by half every year.
yeah, so I think it's currently at 25.
There's
25 coins mined per block.
Oh yeah. I
So
don't
that's how
know.
much you get for the reward if you mine a block. So in order to mine a block, you have to have a computer system that's either CPU or GPU, I think, based, and your computer will run millions and millions of different numbers to find this number called nonce, Nonce, which means like I think the English dictionary means like a one-off something, right, item. So basically trying to find a one-off number that finds in the range, and once a block recognizes it, it awards you a certain amount of that cryptocurrency into a designated wallet. So right now it's 25, and over a certain amount, once you reach the next goal, it will give you 12 and a half,
Right.
and
That's not
it will
bad.
become more difficult to mine. So the incentive.
I think the last question everybody wants to know, because I'm gonna say mine, and I think you should as well.
Mm-hmm.
1 year from today, one coin. What is the best chance for going up the highest percentage ROI?
One coin?
ROI though. So I mean, Bitcoin goes from 39 to 42, and yeah, I went up 300, but it's not a good percentage, right? It's only about 8%.
Yeah. And we're talking about government intervention also, and people that want to get out of that. I truly believe Verge is going to make it.
Verge?
Yes.
How much is that right now?
It's at half a cent, I believe.
Oh, I don't like doing something. Our
Well, the
my
reason why-
business partners
well,
is
people are like-
IOTA.
Sure, IO's great. Hey,
It's like 55
Don't-
cents. He's like, if it goes to 35 cents, I might sell everything I have and put it all in IOTA. I don't know anything about IOTA, but I believe him.
yeah, I mean, for me, let me just finish off my point, right? With Verge, right? People always say like, oh, it's just half a cent; it can't go up that high, which is partly true. Because in order to tell how much the coin is worth, also, it's how many coins are out there. So Verge has a lot more coins than Bitcoin does. That's the reason why it's so low. But if you look at the growth, barely anyone has Verge, and the application of it, of transferring it through Tor networks and I2P clients, is very it's competing against Monero. So, and I think it does things that Monero can't do, and I think Monero does things that Verge can't do. But I like how Verge, for the most part, has been hitting the roadmap. And once again, we could go into more topics about.
We will
other
next time.
types. Yeah, next time.
Hey, thank you. Introduce yourself again.
Kevork Boyajian.
That's the website, Major League Crypto.
Yes, MajorLeagueCrypto.com.
Signing out, Andrew Keene at AlphaShark.com. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.